Hi folks, Mr. Teslonian back here again. I want to take you through a project I've been working on for quite a while here. This is a unique gasifying double burner stove. It actually has 4 burner plates on it that you can use. Let me take you through this up close. I'm kind of in the shot right now. I'm going to move it over. I'm going to kind of demonstrate it from the outside. I'm going to open it up for you and show you how it works on the inside. I'm also going to do a video about how to put a wood stove pipe off of this, how to adapt it on there. And this single burner system here is going to be a good demonstration on how to build a gasifying wood stove for inside your house. That's kind of what this was originally here. It's 2 different demonstrations all in one. So let me move it over into the shot and I'll show you how it works. So here we are, as you can see from the front shot here. I've got a little grill up here. The grill lifts and then shuts. You can see on the front here I've got a little door that came off of a propane heater system, a little glass door so you can see down into the burn box. You can see these levers out here in the front. If I pull this lever out, which I'm going to give you a better demonstration of from above, there's a little tray inside of here that holds what's called bio-char. One of the limitations I found with gasification in these small gasifiers was that the bio-char sooner or later builds up inside the can. Can needs to be dumped out. So that was one of the limitations, especially for building a wood stove. So what I've done here is created a system that dumps from the bottom, dumps it into this tray that I'm moving with this arm here, and that tray pulls out underneath your little grill here with the bio-char. So you've got basically a charcoal burn right underneath your little grill. You can refill your gasifier. It'll burn nice and clean again, and you won't get it all locked up with the bio-char. You can push it back up underneath, and it catches that, and I'm going to show you my little dump designs and all of that. I have another lever here. As you can see, I'm going to have a little wind in this today, so it might be distorted slightly. I have another lever here that does the same thing. There's a little tray underneath inside of here. This is a separate burner up here. This is a separate gasifier. It's got a separate tray. It's all isolated from the other one. Each one of these systems, as you can see, you can push it in and out and pull the bio-char underneath your warmer tray here, or your hot pan tray. Now what you see underneath here is the final lever in the front. I'm going to pull that out and show you what it is. It's an ash catch. That ash catch catches every bit of ash or any hot coals that fall through this system. Keeps it down below, allows air draft to get up into the system from the bottom side. So that's where all the air draft basically is created in this system. So when you use this, you get a complete burn unit. You get gasification out of the holes up here in the top, which I'll show you. You get a bio-char burn over the grill, and then in the end, your ash all gets caught down here in the lower tray. So we'll push that back in. Let me flip this around so you can see the back. Now, at the back here, you see a couple levers. Back here, some coat hanger wires. Let me show you how that works from the back side. I'm going to open this up, like I said, and show you from the inside. So you unhook the lever, and now you see that arm going up and down. What that's doing underneath there is actuating the bottom of the dump for the gasifier to dump the bio-char into that tray down below. So you can actuate the dump, move it up and down so it shakes it all out. And to lock it all the way down, you just move the lever over and it locks in the notch. Same with over here. If I turn that a little bit for you to see, you can tell you unhook it, and that does the same thing on the small bio-char gasifier here. So you can move it up and down, dump it into the smaller tray, lock it all the way down. So there you go, that's the back of it. So all this is, truthfully, is this a box that I took from a propane furnace system, a small one, out of an RV. That's the outer case. I've built a bunch of extra stuff, added some legs to put the trays on there. Obviously these levers are from other things, even some plumber's tape here. So I'll show you this a little closer now from the front side and give you a better view on the outside. And then I'm going to stop the camera, open the system up so you can see how it works from the inside. Alright, so here we are going to walk around the system here. I'm going to show you how it works and what it looks like. So here's the little grill I was telling you about. You lift the grill up, it holds itself up. Grab the bio-char lever here, pull the tray all the way out. You can see it's got burn holes all over in the bottom, burn holes in the sides, so it gives a lot of oxygen to the bio-char, allowing it to burn completely. Allow it to burn nice and hot underneath your grill. If you notice here, the back plate of this is higher than the rest of it. When you push that up in there, it lines up right here with the front flashing plate. Right there is in the perfect position to hit the biochar dump lever. It'll all dump nice and safe right in that canister. When it is, you just pull it out underneath your grill. You can keep a pan high, you can roast some food on there, put a little steak on there. Same thing here. As you see down inside of there, you can see the rod going through it. If I pull that back, there's a perforated tray underneath there. So you can pull out the biochar underneath your warmer plate here. So you can set a pan up here, your coffee after it's been cooked. You can set it up above the biochar and keep it warm for a while. So now you just push it in and out. Let me walk you around this and show you the levers. So as you can see here, you just got a hook. You undo it. I'm going to show you that hook from the side. It's just an indent cut inside the metal. You unhook it. It goes through the guide rod and lifts and dumps that lever down below. Now that lever is hooked to the underside plate of that gasifier, this one right here. So as you can see, the burner holes are all right around the top, all the way around. This is an inner and outer. This gap you see here is the air space between the inner and outer burn chambers. So you've got your air space, you've got your burn chamber. Same with the larger gasifier. You've got your burn chamber and you've got your air space box around it so air can rush up. You can see inside of there also the perforated holes all the way around the unit. It's where the gasification takes place, up here at the top above the wood. You'll see down in there that I have a stainless perforated plate down there. It's suspended above the dump on the bottom. The dump is also slightly suspended away from the bottom to allow air to come in through there. I found that by suspending the screen above the dump plate, it burned much better. So I'm going to show you how that works. Let me unlatch this, and then I'm going to look in there. You pull it down, you pull this up, that goes down, you push it down, it comes up. So you can dump all the biochar right out of the bottom into that lower tray. And all you do is you set your lock again and it's in place. Same with this one here. Try to keep out of the shadow if I can. No, that's not going to work from that angle. Give me just a second. Alright, so you unlock it using my left hand here, but you watch down in there, it opens up the bottom and shuts it. So you do your biochar dump out of the bottom of the box into the tray below. So now I'm going to show you from the side angle here. I'm going to pop this plate off. It's only pushed on there through little tension resistance points, and I'm going to show you this tray inside of here. You pull it forward, it lines up underneath your system here. And maybe if I get up underneath here, I can show you the dump system. So here we go, let me unlock it. You can see that open. So it works really well. It's just a counter rod onto the bottom of the plate. The plate's just got some tabs that were folded up, drilled through to create a hinge, which I'll show you better here in a little while. But there's your biochar dump. Let me line up the can for you. You line up the can underneath the biochar plate. You pull the dump, it lines up right there inside of the char holder and dumps all the biochar. Nice and safe. Lock it shut. Pull it out underneath. And the other side works just the same. So I'm going to take a moment here. I have to undo these screws going across the top up here and down this plate. This front plate here comes off and you'll be able to see the dump system taking place that's inside of here. And I'll pull that off and show you that in just a moment. Let me go through just simple ways to make these channels. I just took a drill bit and drilled a line of holes and then ate the holes out by wobbling the bit back and forth, kind of using it as a mill. And that's what holds my rods through there, nice and tight, guides them. You can see over here the same thing. You can see how the ashtray underneath is suspended. It just has some side tangs, which I'll show you over here. Just has some side tangs welded with a folded under the lip in the front and the back. On both sides here, there and there. I put some legs on it so the air can get underneath. It's nice and safe. Another thing about this system is the reason I left this upper lip up here. I'm going to take this off for the actual cooking stove, but I'm leaving this here because in miniature, this whole side of this without the char burner underneath, just with the dump and the char box with the ash catch, is in miniature a wood stove, a gasifying wood stove, which I have a video of already in action. You just put the wood stove pipe coming off the top right here, right off that top, going up, and you'd have a door right across the face here that you could open and throw material in there. To make a wood stove, you want to have your material feed above those burn holes. You want a chamber below that, so all your expansion. Now right here, to do a wood stove properly, you'd want this to go larger. You want an expansion chamber above your burn ring. And that's going to give you a better burn area. It's going to release more of that energy out into the house. Now you can burn with this on very little fuel already, and it's going to heat a large area. It's a good system for like a canvas tent or small RV, so you can use any kind of material to keep yourself warm, which I'll show you here tonight. When this is done though, that'll all be cut off. So give me just a moment here, and I'm going to set up the camera, take that faceplate off that I was talking to you about, and show you that side in action. Alright, here we are. I got the faceplate off. It's just a simple faceplate and some screws there, and like I showed you, had that little window off of the same propane stove that I robbed most of the metal from. The rest of the metal came from a RV air conditioner off the roof. That's where I got the big thicker stuff. I'm going to go down in here and show you this now. You can see the air gap between the inner and outer chambers here. It's all the way around it. So you've got an inner burn chamber, an outer air gap that rushes up and feeds air into those holes. The reason it's working is because this is getting hot, and as it's getting hot between these two walls, it's generating an updraft through thermodynamics and drawing air straight up between these walls and pumping out those holes that I showed you around the top. So I'm going to show you here how this works. Let me unlock the back. Okay, so you pull it, it dumps. So here's what you would do. You'd slide the tray up underneath, doing this left-handed here. As you can tell, it all lines up right there. I'll hit the dump valve, it lines up and dumps directly into that tray. So it's nice and safe. You can move it up and down a few times and shake it out. If you notice, the screen I have in here has raised lips. If I can get down low enough here, has raised lips all the way around except for the direction that it dumps. That helps to make sure that any material caught on top of there also dumps efficiently off of there. If I can pull that back up a bit, you can see the distance here between the screen and the bottom plate. I found that that works really, really well. When I pull the plate up, you notice there's a couple tangs there, creating an air gap at the bottom, allowing air to rush by that, pull some smoke through, and draw air up into the firebox. So there's your dump, feeds into your tray. You push it back up, lock it into place over here on the side, and pull your tray out underneath your grill. So now you've got a nice grill setup ready to go with your biochar. Your gasifier is nice and cleaned out, ready to go again for cooking or as a wood stove. See, this same system, like I was saying, would work great as a wood stove. You can see down through the bottom there and see that lower ash catch below it. And that's going to be a key thing for having a good wood stove system. Is 3 burn systems. You're going to want your below with your biochar, which you could even have like water pipes running through to heat your water in your house. And after the biochar burn, it drops down into the ash catch, and that's the only thing you're going to remove from the wood stove. So that's the system here. Like I said, I have a video tonight where I just place a wood stove pipe and a cap over the top of this. That's going to give me basically a feeding area here so I can feed new material into the wood stove. It's going to pump the smoke, or the lack of smoke and just the heat, the small amount of exhaust out of the house, out of the system. And then all you'd need is a glass door or something so you can watch your fire move in front right here. We've got some wind picking up, so until tonight when I show you it burning, I hope you enjoyed. Alright, so here's the nighttime test. You can just barely see the system here. Just starting to get dark. I'm going to go ahead and light this up. I'm going to show you just how this works here. Let me remove the stovepipe off the top. This is to show you how it works as a wood stove. A small prototype for a wood stove. Let me set that back up on there. Just give me a second here. Okay. Now I'm going to go back here and show you how that's working. Get steady for you. Alright, as you can see, gasification is already starting here. I've got a great flame going up there. So this is the simplest way to turn this small system I've got here into a wood stove. This is in miniature. This part of it here is how to do it as a wood stove. You'd actually have the feed area above where your burn chamber is, and with a dump bottom on it, you can constantly dump the ashes out of the burn chamber here. You don't get the paralysis lockup and all the ash built up in there. It makes it easily cleanable. And right now, as you can tell, it's burning right up that chimney pipe really, really well. We've got a great burn going on inside the chamber here. That's still just the light material that I put on top to get it lit. Just some wood shavings. Any second now, that thing's really going to start raring up here. So the only thing you would do differently than what I've got here to make an actual wood stove design out of this is right here above the burn rings. You'd want to put a larger chamber here. You want an expansion chamber, and that way the burn's taking place into an expansion chamber, then going out your chimney pipe like I have on there right now, which I'm not sure. Well, yeah, there you go. You can see the chimney pipe here. There's no smoke coming out the top of it. Well, there was one spark. That's kind of unusual. But no smoke coming out. We've got one heck of a flame though roaring down here in the bottom. The pipe is actually radiating a huge portion of your heat here. That would be the section inside the home, your expansion chamber where this burn's taking place, and the pipe is where it would distribute the heat into your home. As you can see here, we've got a great burn taking place down inside of there. If you made this large enough to hold a normal standard size firewood, basically this you could use to heat your home, much more efficient than a standard fireplace, and also not produce the smoke that a standard fireplace produces. So very invisible, hard to see, maybe even be passable with some of the burn ban areas like up in the northwest. So we'll let that burn for just a second here. Just wanted to show you it. If we look up in there, you can see just how much that's twirling. That gets off a lot of heat out of that pipe. So you can really heat a large area with a small stove off of this. And all I've got in there is little piles of twigs and brush with some sawdust on top to start it out, which I'll show you tomorrow what I'll start it with. You can see the nice burn taking place of the gasification. All the pilot holes there in the background. I don't know how long. Okay, that's going to flare out the camera here. So I'm going to zoom back off here and let you see that in action a little further away. So there's your system in action. You can tell there's no smoke coming out the top there, but you've got a raging flame, which should be heating your home. Nice and sealed. You just put a door right there where you see the flame that you would open to feed it. That would actually be where your feed port would be, is right above the burn rings. So there's my small prototype in action here. I'll show you in the daytime on how it works and how I set it up as the dump chambers on the bottom. But there you go. This is how Alright, so here you go. This is how you could convert a gasification stove into a wood stove for your home using very minor amounts of fuel. As you can see, I'm producing a large amount of flame. That flame there and the amount of BTUs that's producing would heat a very large area on this very small stove. This is something that you could easily put inside of a canvas style elk hunting tent or something like that, or a small building. Once completed and airtight, very safe to use, very efficient, and you're going to put out a lot of BTUs, as you can see inside of that burn chamber. So I'll zoom in for you one more time and just show you what's going on in there. It's hard to tell, those back pilot holes are blowing out that flame. I'm looking at this direction here. Alright, until next time, I hope you enjoyed. This was Mr. Thessalonian and the Thessalonian Man Show.